Right.
Okay, Michael, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Man.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're here. You came in hot to the office today,
Yeah.
piping hot about short-term rentals.
Yes.
And so the news is there's some stuff happening in New York City. And so I wanted to ask you what's happening, and then also compare and contrast to what's happening in Calgary.
Okay. All right. So as of today, so this is Tuesday, September 5th. So New York City, the I guess the municipal government has passed a law, and then it's actually now enacted as of today, that requires. Sorry, I'm going to back up. It is going to really harm the Airbnb industry, the short-term rental industry in New York City in a fairly substantial way. So that's number one. And how is that going to happen? So the legislation is going to require everyone to register. So that's not a big deal. In Calgary, we already register all short-term rental suites, but they're requiring that every single suite or dwelling, if they're to get a license, the owners must live there. They must allow the guests to have access to all the rooms of the house, and the owners of the place must be present for the entire duration of the stay. What else? Which is amazing.
Yeah. Is there a guest limitation?
There is a guest limitation. So they're limiting it to only two guests per Airbnb or short-term rental stay. This is not just like exclusively against Airbnb. It's VRBO, Booking.com, and any other platforms. So it's a significant change. There are 40,000 Airbnb units in New York City, or that New York City area, and it also, I guess, there's one more sort of like key thing is if you are designated as a short-term rental, you can only rent out your place for a maximum of 30 days. So that is going to like significantly change the landscape in New York City, for not only for people who have invested in Airbnbs, but for travelers. Their options are going to be significantly reduced. Just like the limitation on two guests alone is going to have a significant impact. And then the fact that it's going to require the owners to stay and be present during the stay that's amazing. That's kind of like, that's shocking. I don't want to say amazing in a good way. That's a big change. Including let's say the owners decide they're going to go for a 3-week holiday. Well, they're not allowed to be renting out their place to anyone during that stay. How that will be policed, I have no idea, but these are significant changes. And from what I understand, I believe for each infraction, it's going to be up to a $5,000 penalty, which is pretty significant. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Dan?
That's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, that is such a drastic change to like the rights of a property owner. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
If you bought a car and somebody said, no, you can only drive it on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah.
You can't have more than one occupant.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, like I know it's your property, and why can't you do these things? I understand there's a housing crisis, and that's, but this seems like the pendulum swinging too far the other way.
Like a big overreach.
Big overreach. Yeah. It was like a wrecking ball swinging the other way.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Some other jurisdictions around the world, like Amsterdam, Berlin, a few other places, they have San Francisco, I believe. They limit the amount of days that you can have your place, your Airbnb, rented per year. So I believe in San Francisco, it's a 90-day limit, which really reduces the economics of renting out your place. In Amsterdam, it's as short as 30 days. But these are it's no surprise that short-term rentals have had an effect on the housing market and housing affordability. So I do understand the reason and the need to kind of create some regulations. Mm-hmm. But yes, as you mentioned, this New York City legislation is really a wrecking ball towards the entire industry. So we'll see how it plays out, and hopefully that other jurisdictions like Calgary are more thoughtful in kind of how they're approaching this.
A little more measured. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I appreciate that update, and
Yeah, no worries.
thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more.
All right. See you guys.